Only here on the 19 tonight, it's been just about a month since medical marijuana became legal right here in the Bluegrass State. Actually getting it, however, is a ways off. Plants need to be grown, and only 16 cultivators across our state will be allowed to harvest marijuana. The legitimacy of how those cultivators got picked, though, well, that's something several Kentucky hemp farmers want scrutinized now. Focus investigator John Charlton reveals that the state auditor is now considering a thorough inspection.
A winter thaw in Jessamine County. Signs of warming up for the next season, yet still too cold to work the land. Work, however, doesn't stop on this farm, with processing continuing with last year's harvest.
This is the finished trim. This cleans up the material, gets it ready for final prep and sell.
Making Kentucky proud.
About 4,000 square feet in here.
Black Barn Farms has been growing hemp,
CBG and CBD,
for the last 6 years.
We'll grind up the flour.
And with 12 to 15,000 pounds of finished flour alone in a good year, it's a hefty hemp harvest.
We are the largest flour producer in the state, by far.
With plans to get even larger.
It is multi-purpose.
The foundation laid in August to grow the business in a way which wasn't legal in Kentucky until now. A new 13,000 square foot barn framed for farming indoors.
So you're saying this is like going to be like the locker rooms over here?
Reception area, bathrooms, you know, have a security room for servers.
$500,000 spent so far, Nick Johnson says, on the gamble that this farm would get into the medical marijuana space with all this space.
This is on pause.
Definitely.
The gamble didn't pay off. The $500,000 on construction plus the $20,000 just to apply for a Tier 3 cultivator license.
We were under the impression that Kentucky hemp growers were going to be shown preference and be at the front of the line on receiving medical cannabis licenses.
Turns out Kentucky hemp growers were at the front of the line, but just given priority with application review. Johnson submitted his application 2 days after the online portal opened July 1st. It closed August 31st.
If anything, we just got scrutinized earlier and more often than everybody else who put their applications in the last minute.
Which was a ton.
It was more than a ton, yes.
4,411 filed in the last 4 days across all business license categories, according to the Office of Medical Cannabis.
Same people creating hundreds of LLCs within a 5-day, 10-day window at the end of the application process.
So you would say that's the definition of app stacking?
Clearly, the amount of people applying could not all be legit.
In the end, the vast majority of the 74 winners drawn at the licensed lotteries
Cultivator Tier 3
were applicants based out of state.
AJ Alchemy Labs, LLC.
Although the governor and the state medical cannabis program repeatedly maintained
This was the most fair and transparent way to build this exciting new industry in the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
we asked if the process needed a closer look.
Governor, would you welcome a full audit of the process and all the applicants involved? We're talking about nearly
Sure,
5,000.
you can watch it. We've been fully transparent. The question is, if you have the laws on the books and everybody's seen them and everybody has approved the regulations ahead of time, and you use a group like the Kentucky Lottery Corporation and you televise the whole thing, the question is, what is there to ultimately audit?
Plenty applicants like Nick Johnson argues.
These companies clearly game the system.
And State Auditor Allison Ball is listening. After Focus reached out to her office and after our reports dug into questionable, potentially unfair tactics used in the application process.
They're taking it very seriously, and they seem to think that something was very afoul.
Johnson says he and others have spoken with Ball's office.
Were you able to point out certain things for them to kind of dive into?
I basically corroborated a lot of info that they already had.
Ball confirmed in an emailed statement that her office has heard from numerous Kentuckians who have expressed grave concerns. They all seem to agree on one thing: there are serious issues. And As Kentucky's ultimate watchdog of government conduct, she will continue to evaluate concerns and determine the role that her office should play in rectifying those concerns. Is it important for them to look into this?
Absolutely.
The state auditor would have access to all the financials in the applications and therefore can follow the money. That, Nick Johnson says, would be truly transparent.
I think it's important for transparency to all Kentuckians, to all business owners, to all future patients.
Johnson wants that reassurance because he's willing to try again to be licensed for medical marijuana, besides Black Barn Farms.
I feel like eventually we'll get the license.
Is basically built for it. In Jessamine County, John Charlton, WHS 11, on your side.